Hello, hello. Welcome all. Yes, there's
Hello
Austin.
everyone. Uh, yes,
Looking
and
refreshed, man. Looking.
no, crazy.
That's what happens when you stop working. 14 hours, 16 hours a day. Nice. Okay.
Guys in corner.
Yeah. Say it again, Yash.
Yeah, how you doing,
Cry
Yash?
corner.
Hello, yeah.
Nice. All right. Good. I don't see anyone new on the call, so that means we can skip with all of the pleasantries and talk some code. Take a look at some things you guys have been working on. So, a couple of topics today. Josh is here, and then Abhishek will join us in just a bit. Are we missing anyone? Not yet. Okay, good. Well, and then Yash, we said we might talk a bit about Mesher UI potentially. Hey, Tanuj, do you want to kick us off?
Actually, can you circle back to me?
Okay,
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
sure. Sure. That means Vinayak is up next. Mr. Sharma.
Hello,
Hello. Good morning.
am I audible?
You are.
Okay. Basically, as you asked in the Slack chat about the estimated time of the completion of Get Night Hawk, I've like noted down a few things that are still remaining on the websites. On the website, first one is the doc section. Uh, I think we haven't really discussed anything about it till now. That what exactly is supposed to be added and how the UI is going to be. Then the second one is the about section.
Vinay, do you, if you don't mind, if you have that site handy to just share it as you speak over it?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Is my screen visible?
It is.
Okay, so basically the first thing that is incomplete is the doc section, because I think we haven't discussed anything about it till now. Like, what are the content and what's the UI going to be like? And the second, like, sort of the page itself, the about page is also kind of in a similar situation as the docs page. And then the third thing is the logo. I guess there is a informal voting going on right now. So as soon as that is finished, or like that concludes, we will change it to that one. And then we have a PR by Yash on this section. Uh, it's some basic CSS changes, and then we have this section. I'm not sure about these two photos because they were in the mockup, and I think we don't want to have the same photos
Twice.
on both the sides. So this is also one of the thing. And then the other thing is that there are like a few buttons, like the learn more button, ask a question, and join us button, which right now don't lead to anywhere. So we have to link those up also. And the next thing is about this FAQ section. As talked in the last meeting, that all the FAQs have the same content, so that is one of the thing. And then this ask question button maybe requires a form to be made, maybe a Google form or something, so that as well. And then for the footer, Yash has made a PR moving this copyright text to the bottom bottom level with the HR line. So like it looks a bit better, but I'm not sure if like we want to like overall keep this sort of UI, because if we see, then in this community section we have GitHub, Slack, and then we again have GitHub and Slack over here. So uh, we might want to like uh, change this according to what all we actually require in the footer.
Yeah, it looks like between, so for, so yeah, yeah, that's an easy one to clean up. But you're right, there's most of it is duplicated, and so most of what the community column is could be can be removed.
Uh,
We can dedupe GitHub, Slack, events as well, because the calendar is over there. So those bottom three go away. The blog, since we only have docs on this site right now, the blog can go away because that would be a link to docs that's already there. And then that only leaves community and contributors. So the community section title, yeah, oh, okay, is there. So so we do have, so it is worthwhile having community in the footer. That could be under either resources, or we could put it under something else. So that only leaves
right. Like
contributors.
I was thinking about something like the SMP website that we have right now, that the copyright text is over at this position, and then we have all the social media icons listed over here. So like that would save a lot of space.
Yeah, but in this case, like we're not concerned about the space because there isn't that much on the site anyway. But it wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, Yash, the other Yash has an open PR for just that, for taking the copyright and putting it down below.
Right.
Which is, so that I think we're okay. Like if we, yeah, we put the new logo, we get rid of the left column, the community column, because those just either dedupe or the only link that doesn't dedupe. There's two. It's the community and contributors. We don't have to call out the contributors separately because that's just part of the community. So we can move the community link over to like resources or social. By the way, it'd be just social, not plural, not socials.
Right. Okay, I'll note this down. Other than that, we have a few sections listed in the Get Nighthawk Google Doc, like the one you shared with me initially. So there were a lot of sections in that, like having a install in information and stuff, and like having a video section and all those things. So, but those were not in the mock-up. So maybe like it's time to get that mock-up a revision with the new sections added.
Yeah, yeah. It was Pratya Banerjee who had worked with on the sitemap structure, and he was excited about all that the site could be, and had put in maybe more than we have content for at the moment. So we do want getting started, and that would just be in the docs. For a video, we might end up with one. And we don't have one at the moment, and so until we do, we'll hold off. So it's mostly for your part. There's a couple of tweaks, it looks like, but mostly it is content that's needed. Like, the links. I actually noted them all down in the meeting minutes. Various links, various bits of content, and so other than that, if you go to the very top, where okay, right here where we've got subscribe for now, those logos, the intention was for those to be users or adopters or
Sort of like placeholder for like before we actually place the real ones.
okay, and then the real ones, these are placeholders for I guess this is for adopters or for the people making it. I don't know. If you scroll down a little bit, what's next? Okay, what is that? Like we can just get rid of that section.
Of
And
this section?
yeah, well, of the logos and of the coming soon and the subscribe for more, we would just the what is Nighthawk would go up above.
Okay.
You would still leave the diagonal section divider. It would just cross cut across the sections.
Okay.
It is good to have a call to action button where it says coming soon. Maybe we'll leave the button, but in this case, it would be like get started.
Yeah, we can have a get started button over here leading to the docs or something.
Nice. Good. You guys have taken it about as far as you can without more content.
Right.
So
One thing I want to ask, like, what's our plan with this ask questions? Like, we want to have a form inbuilt in the website, or do we want to like use external form for it?
right. Or maybe to just direct them to the community.
Yeah, that can also be done. Like, we redirect them to like some Slack channel or a discussion forum or something.
Yeah. To a mailing, yeah, discussion forum. Exactly. Actually, to the discussion forum that Josh is working on, that would be ideal. So,
Right, because they can see all the questions that have been previously asked about it.
yeah, totally. So maybe we'll leave that for the moment, but maybe yeah, with the plan of having it linked to the discussion forum.
Okay, I guess like that's most of it.
Right. Thanks a bunch for that. That was really helpful. Yeah, the so I noted down some specific items. One item that two other items to kind of talk about. So the about link, we probably need a single page layout because it looked like the about page was a dual column layout.
Right. Like we haven't actually like worked on it. It has been just picked from the Meshery theme. So yeah, I think we will have to like redo it from scratch or something.
On so for the docs section, right, currently there's a docs page layout that I guess I'm not entirely sure if it, like, yeah, we may need to have a menu. There may need to be, do you know if there's a single page layout in the docs section currently?
Actually, I will have to check. I haven't really like
Okay,
worked on it or anything till now.
sure, sure,
So once I do, I will update you.
sure. In essence, it wouldn't be a lot. Like, it would be 10, 15, maybe 20 pages. So we don't need the menuing system doesn't have to be dynamic, or the menu system itself can just be a collection of bullets, or it, yeah, we don't have to track versions of the docs. So,
Okay,
but
understood.
yeah. Good. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Well, next up, Josh, do we want to? What do you consider that we are on the 404s?
So for Layer 5 website, I think it's almost like I think all of those are done. And for the change of the Meshery docs, also I have made the changes in the Layer 5 website for now. So like the previous docs dot like the meshery.layer5.io is also changed to docs.meshery.io. But the few ones that are like a few community members had a different name and profile page URL on the previous website, and that has been changed in the new website. So I don't think we can we can add redirect, but I don't think it's that necessary, or is it?
Wait, is it necessary to add redirects for the, oh, no, it's probably not necessary to add redirects for their old misspellings or their old.
Yeah, so I guess then for the Layer5 website, I think it's done. I'll again have a check with the coverage and the analytics part, and I'll see if there's any more pages that are going to 404.
Thanks. Now, Josh, I was trying to recollect where I got this report from. I think there was an email that I had received from Google Analytics saying, you've got some 404s, but do you know?
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, the Messery website changes, the 404s on Messery on the Docs website. So do we need to have redirects for this as well? So let's say the messery.layer5.io.
No. Nope. It's just nope. For the most part, the Meshery docs. It's I don't know. We can go. Okay. From the perspective of Layer5.io, we don't have to have those redirects. We just need to ensure that Layer5.io, the site itself, when it refers to Meshery docs, that it's referring in the correct way.
Yeah. That's done. Like any of the external URLs it points won't be a broken link. That's done.
And then there is a subsequent question there, and it would be looking at looking at Meshery docs itself, going to that site, and then looking to see if that site is receiving a lot of 404s.
So when I checked the the docs website, so some of them have already are having that redirect. Like when you type in messery.layer5.io, it will be and /docs, it will automatically lead you to docs.messery.io. But a few pages that are mentioned in this spreadsheet are not having those. So that's like the major part of this entire spreadsheet is from the Messery website itself. And for the Layer5 website, I've done. I'll update it with the green marks as I've done for the remaining pages as well.
Okay. Yeah. So this report is taken from the perspective of Layer5.io. So if Meshery docs, that site is receiving 404s, or if people trying to get to pages that don't exist on the docs site, it wouldn't necessarily be reported here in this spreadsheet. Actually, the thing that we should be sure to do is to make sure that you're able to run this coverage report for a variety of sites. And when you run this coverage report for docs.meshery.io, it may give you something totally different because people will have been linking to it from wherever else. All of these links are those that originate. Well, all the meshery.layer5.io links here, those all originate on Layer5.io, or did. So
so like I did a complete search over the Layer5 website. You won't find any link having the URL as messery.layer5.io on current website that I can guarantee.
perfect. That's great. So yeah, so for the most part, I think we can consider the mission complete for for all these, the meshery.layer5. The question is, does this site, does Meshery docs, is it having 404s based on links from other websites other than layer5.io? And so getting you access to the coverage report for this website would be helpful, because this coverage report, it was only for links that are pointing to layer5.io, not for links that were pointing to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So I'm at the moment, I'm not sure which report inside of Google Analytics gives this. I think it's actually the Search Console. Google is where this came from. So maybe we this. Yeah, here we go. So share this here. Okay. So here's the Google Search Console. I'm not, okay, so right now we're looking at layer5.io. Bunch of notifications, so 2 pages. So anyway, there's I hesitate to drill into some of the details, like, but this is where you can verify that those issues have been corrected, and not only for Layer5.io, but also for Meshery.io, because it's, it's possible. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll refer to this thing.
nice. And let me know if you don't have access, if you don't, but you should, but do you need this hyperlink? Would that be helpful, or?
I'm just checking. I'll let you know.
Okay. Nice. All right. That's awesome. Thank you, Josh. That's the sites that have a high number of 404s, that fact plays a role in the ranking of the site in terms of page rank. There's a lot of factors that go into page rank. So speed of the site, domain authority for a given topic, number of links, backlinks that are pointing into the site. There's so many, but that's one of them. And so this is helpful not only for user experience of not hitting a missing page, but also in terms of ranking. So nice. And by the way, Yash, Mr. Pandy, and Augustine, and basically anybody that's on the call, if those, and Mr. Varden, if those stats or that info is of interest, we should get you access as well, so you guys can.
So I just had a question, like for Google Analytics, we don't have the SMP and the Meshery website.
We do, and if you're not seeing it, then then maybe we just have an access issue.
It's mentioned, but it doesn't open up the data, I guess, for me.
Oh, is that on Google? Is that on the Search Console, or is that on?
No, on the Google Analytics.
Okay. So let's see. So it might be slightly off in its categorization. So there's, boy, I don't even know the right terminology, but there's a Layer5 organization. Under the Layer5 organization, this probably needs to be renamed, but there are.
I'm talking about the thing, like can you click on SMP if it opens up the report for SMP?
Yeah, it seems to be. So.
Like for Layer5 and Meshery UI, I can see them, but
Okay, so that let me take an action on it. Maybe that's an access issue, because there are statistics in there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Good. Does that bring us over to Josh, or to Tanuj? I mean.
Okay, so uh, I figure out the issue. What was basically not causing the images not showing on Twitter. It was the problem with the relative URL. So I tried changing it to uh, absolute URL, and that seemed to fix the issue. But in that process, I seemed to break the what was happening for other pages uh, like the main page and the landscape. Other pages that we were using relative URL. So I'm trying to balance your to make them both work together.
Yeah.
So it is now working for blog all the individual blogs, but all the main pages it seemed to break it.
Oh. It just breaks image references on the page.
Yeah.
Huh. Hmm. Okay. So you're about halfway there.
Yeah.
Um,
And after that, I have to figure out a way for redirects to show the image.
mm, right. But okay. But for the blog posts, was it a trail? It was, you said it was used. It was the issue was that an absolute URL was needed or is helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
I think it's a kind of trade-off. Like
yeah, but not a trade-off that we can make because it's okay. So right now, Tanu, this PR is still in draft. Then
Yeah.
okay, yeah, there's okay. Good. Okay, the progress. Next topic. I suppose Austin. There were a couple of weeks in a row, I think, after the go live for Layer 5 IO, where you guys reviewed an itemized list of discrepancies. And I think Yash Pandey had opened up an issue that tracked a few of them. Some of those were being worked through, but what's the status? What do we have left undone?
Also, I think he has just great issues regarding them, and I'm really sorry for not following up. So I'll do my best to follow up.
Okay, so yeah, I saw Yash create one that had a reference to like 3 in there, but there were many more than that. So do you guys have the link handy? I think this is the
Yeah, it's there. I've added it in my section. If you can see,
nice. All right. Okay. So there's the reason I want to bring this up is, one, we want to make sure that these items get done, but two, that some of these, like those that were below this line, I think were open for review as to whether or not those discrepancies were intentional. And so let's do a quick review. On line 12 / community hero section is too small and doesn't match the height of the design. Okay. Yash, do you know, which ones we're tracking and which ones we aren't?
right now the main line, everything below that main line is untracked, except which for which I've given the link. That is 1628 issue number.
Okay. Got you.
But rest are untracked. I
Okay.
mean, we haven't started to work on it yet. And the yellow ones are a critical ones because they need a lot of work
Uh,
or are
no, no.
very core to the design.
Actually, I remember I wanted to ask this. Uh, I wanted to confirm this if those were intentional or we need to work on it.
Right. Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring them up. So of this first one, I think we do want to process this one, or we do want to make the height slightly bigger on the hero section. So Yash, do you mind opening up an issue on this one?
I'll be on it.
Oh, okay. Do we know, is anyone on this call assigned to that? Or what the issue number is, maybe? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Yash, if you would, double check and make sure that we've got an issue number here, and fill this back in when you got it. On 18, 19, 20. So font size of our project section is not the same size as the design. And also the text is enabling you. Okay, so on the project section. So leaving this image aside, there is, I think there's probably, and this is as much my fault as anyone's, I think there's a lack of potential consistency between the title and the subtitle. This is a bad example page because this is one that's intentionally differentiated, or with the image. But and these are special designs, so that those aren't the same. But so this is an example of what would be probably a standard, page title and subtitle. Do we know, Austin, does this match the design?
The spacing doesn't.
And so it would be that the subtitle needs to come up a little bit, and there needs to be some, a little more space underneath the subtitle, a little less space above it. Is that about right?
No, like the margin between the comparison and the service mesh landscape, it's too much. Maybe we could give it something like from the design, usually we had a consistent margin between them, like from 24. So that's a little bit more than 24. And then the margin from the top of the service mesh landscape should be a bit more, like 64 or more, 64 to 80. Then to give it a bit more space, and then both closer.
Nice. Okay. Yep. So the space between the title and the subtitle needs to be reduced slightly, and then the space between the menu, the nav bar, the menu, and the page title needs to be increased a bit. Is the space between the subtitle and the start of the content, does that look about right?
Okay, no, this one also we need to increase it. The one between the service mesh comparison and the cards, just increase it a bit so it doesn't look too close.
And so there should be more or less. So I mean, part of this is deceiving, I think, because there's a pop down. But so yeah. So that makes sense that we would adjust the spacing here. So we should do that. I don't know if that's listed, if that particular change is listed here. I'm assuming that it is. So, so Austin, for that one, can you take that to write that one down to create an issue about it for the landscape?
Create an issue about it. All right. L5 migration.
Okay, yeah, this is be painstakingly slow to go through all these font sizes. Okay, so there's basically just generically across each of the pages, the section title and I'm sorry, the page title and the subtitle, those should be uniform, and that should really address like this ends up being the same question, right? I'm assuming actually this isn't, because on the home page, that's different. So these are approved. I had looked at these before. We should make those changes. We should have issue numbers in here. Down below the line. So join the community column. I'm not sure how to review these quickly.
Actually, I reviewed most of them. According to me, the blue ones I was sure we should work on, and the yellow ones I was not sure.
Okay, then let's just look at the yellow ones. The newcomers section is all right. So on the newcomers section, yeah, I'm not. Oops. I think we're okay. We're not. Yeah, I don't know, unless someone wants to say something else. I think we're okay.
I think it's talking about the newcomers section on the community page.
Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah, this one.
I mean, of anything that if we take the section as it is, or the content as it is, and adjust the margins so that this graphic stays within the same overarching margin, or fine if we let it come out all the way to here. Anyway, it looks like there's a bit of a lack of a margin that we need over here. Does that make sense on the left margin?
Yeah.
So I think, so I don't know. Do you get, who wants to take this to make sure that there's an open issue? So, Mr. Varden, I don't know if you want to do that. But I'll wait for a volunteer before we go on.
I'll take it up.
Nice. Thank you. Oh, and who was that again?
It's me, Yash.
Yash. All right. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Next yellow one was the Meshmates card is a bit smaller than in design. It is 340 by 330, while the implementation is 220 by 225. Meshmates cards. And I'm assuming that those are yeah, that's true. There aren't a whole bunch of these individuals. And I mean, it's not, you know, our time is probably spent better elsewhere. Just because those cards I'm sure are the same as these. And while they could be slightly better, I think we should focus on some of our other works. Else, there's just so much to track. Engaging with the meshmate, there's no carousel in the implementation, which is so under community meshmates, right? So we ended up with a carousel. I don't know I don't know. What was the carousel to look like? Yeah. You know, the carousels that we're using, like they're not actually not that nice. Anyway, yeah, that'd be, there's a that's a nice to have. Like I think part of the issue is just that we need more pictures. For the time being, let's put it aside. There's so much other things that I'm tracking anyway. I don't think I can keep up. Layer5 meshmate emeritus section cards are small. No, yeah, forget it. Those are some of those. Honestly, a couple of those folks barely deserved the title in the first place. I wish they were here so I could say it to their face. And yeah, actually, one of them had volunteered to fix an issue, a broken page link, and I don't think he's ever delivered anything he ever signed up for. And then it's a nice guy, Shivai Lamba. Shivai, if you're ever watching this recording, you never do what you say you're gonna do. And I can't take it anymore. I thought you would fix this since it was so quick and you'd volunteered. There's a broken page link. There's a broken image on the HashiCorp. Yeah. Can someone take this? Because this is nasty. Can someone fix the fact that there's a broken image on there's a news article for the HashiCorp partnership?
I'll include it in my beer.
Oh, thank you, Tanush. Nice. Okay. All right. Let's cross that one off. Next, quote section should have a bigger quote with the opacity of a quote. So /learn. Yeah, I mean, there could this is not awesome. /learn. Boy, I keep losing my Figma keeps crapping out on me. So it restarts. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we should try to do that one if we can. Anybody on the call want to take that? The changing of the quote section on /learn.
I will update.
Okay. Oh, nice. Thank you, Nikhil. All right. Next was so careers need to be wider. Gaps around each should be. So these are the the careers cards. So here, let me share all of Figma, the app, because it's not, you guys can't see it. It keeps reloading on me. So under the issue that's being identified is that under careers, the cards that are there need additional spacing. Career cards need to be wider. Okay, all right. No, let's skip it. I'm not. Okay, the community members card should be a bit closer, like the gap between community members card should be a bit. Okay, so we go look at community members. Yeah, I mean, there's an asymmetric gap happening. There's a wider one for vertical than there is horizontal. And if we made them both the same, if we made them both the width of this vertical, that probably would be a little too much. It would be better if we reduce this vertical width. It's also the case, I think, that are the cards square? So there's a couple of issues on the page. One is that the images themselves, they should be zoomed in on the person's face. And so part of the issue is that this is actually a large picture, but it's not zooming in on Adina's face. And then this circle is not being filled in, which gives it a weird shape. Same for Abhishek, same for Asukos. These are actually large images. Same for Alonso. He had a bunch of, very large, nice images. And they're not like for Anirudh. It's like we're looking at the shopping center. Apparently, shop spot. And that's just because Anirudh takes horrific pictures. He does. That's his second or third one where it's anyway, point is, yeah. So yes, on that one, we should at least reduce the vertical width. Cool. So whoever, hopefully, all right. Anybody, would anyone like to take that? Right, we haven't gotten to the discourse item. Anybody want to take the spacing here? Is any of either of the Yashas?
Yeah, I can take that.
Okay. Was that Pandy or?
No, Yashvardhan.
Oh, okay. Nice, thank you. Okay, a couple others. Service mesh performance. S&P is a collaborative effort. Section is entirely different from the main design, and also performance of on-way filters should look to be a carousel. Okay. So for the other, before we go look at this, for the other blue items, these are still things yet to be done. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stop the review of these today, just because there's a very large number of those that have yet to be like converted into issues and worked on. And since those are in question, I'll look at those maybe privately just to help spare everyone the time. Cool. Okay, so we had. So thanks everyone for volunteering on these various items. We do need to convert these into either into a number of issues. It doesn't have to be one issue for each one of these things. Either that, or we need to get names next to these. So everyone that's on the call, do you guys want to go slap your names onto a few of these? I'll put the link into the website's channel. Okay. Last topic I think that we had is for discuss.layer5.io. Abhishek and Josh.
Actually, Josh was setting it up, and we are. So I was waiting for you for the SMTP credentials, and also the DNS mapping for the instance to discuss the layer 4. Except for that, I guess Josh is done with the setup. So after we put in configure those two credentials, I think we are ready to test it out.
Nice. Josh, do you want to demo what you have then? If you've got just a generic site up?
No, the thing is like without the SMP credentials, it's not getting even configured. So like it isn't a thing that can be configured later on.
Oh, really?
It
It's a
is,
net. Huh?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's required on the first place.
That's funny.
So like
SMT.
I have installed, and like for the configuration, without configuration it won't start up, but I've installed and all those things is done.
So it wants SMTP credentials so that people can, receive emails when they make comments and when they create threads and all that topics.
Yeah.
So the SMTP credentials that it's looking for, like, having a robot, a service account. So in what form does it want the credentials? It wants a username and password, or?
yeah, in SMTP form, basically username, password, host, and port.
Okay. Yeah, dang it. Okay.
I think you need to create a new service account and or no, like a new user in Mailchimp.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know the
Instead-
terminology, but yeah.
yeah, right. You're right. It's just that it'll then it'll actually cost us a subscription fee because yeah. But and then the domain name as well, right?
Yeah. So can we reuse the existing one?
I think so. I think that's what we'll end up doing is reusing an existing email address or email credentials. For but then we also need an entry in DNS, it sounds like, for against an elastic IP address.
Yeah, like for the discuss.layer5.io, we need to have an entry to the server.
Cool. Yash, outside of these setup items, any other, have you been able to familiarize with discourse much, just in terms of how we might want to some of its behavior, some of the things that we're going to want to change, or
So I searched for it, but I think like once we set up, like it's not much thing. Like I have found resources on how we'll be configuring and all those things, but I think we can discuss on it once we set it up.
it's a lot easier when you've got it in front of you. You can kind of poke at it and explore it. And okay.
Yeah. I got the resources. I have searched, like I have got enough of them. Once I get it set up, we can go it.
Abhishek, so we should have those those SMTP credentials and that domain name pretty fast, so that shouldn't be an issue.
I'll make
Abhishek,
sure we'll get it up tonight.
Abhishek, any thing to say about the the availability setup, like the configuration that we have of just a single EC2 instance, and what's the
It's not HA right now, but we'll need to plan it. Like basically, we can make the persistence to be HA, and then we can basically have a restart, like a restart script in the container, so that if it crashes, it can come out.
Okay, so this is container based, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's container based.
Is there a, and I realize like, hey, some of what we're doing right now might just be, oh, thank you, Vinayak. Talk to you soon. I realize some of what we're doing might be like a prototype or just kind of testing out. Abhishek, this might be the moment in which we start to use EKS.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Or not,
As in, like basically, we'll need to decide on how we're going to have the EKS set up, like basically name spacing and all those stuff. That's what I was wondering.
Sure. Think about it a bit, because this could be as we start out something new like this, maybe that's the right, maybe it's the
Sure.
right time to. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Did we miss any topics? Okay, cool. Actually, I think that's right. I remember there was one that we probably won't get to today, just because I don't want to kill everybody with. But it is Yash. You mentioned you were familiarizing with Meshry UI. Nice, good.
Yeah, I was just starting to.
Okay, good. Well, then we'll just have to start to get you some issues. There's a number of items. Abhishek and a number of others have been working on Mesh Sync, and basically they're collecting a ton of new data, and there's a whole new database. There's a GraphQL server that has a bunch of info to show the user, and so we're on the precipice of bringing forth, rewriting some of those interfaces, bringing forth a bunch of new interactions. So it's a good time to get in there.
Also, as a user's perspective, kudos to the team, because the documents are awesome. So I had no problem in learning those concepts. I'm still learning, so kudos to the team.
Nice. Yeah. Do you mean as a UI developer, or
as a user? So first of all, I need to get a client's perspective before I work on it. So yeah,
Gotcha.
it was so smooth learning from those documentations.
Nice. Good. Yeah. Okay. Good. We don't always get that feedback, so that's nice. All right. Anybody have anything else? So for my part, I owe Vinayak some content, and if anyone else can bring the content, please do. But else I assume that is an action item for me. I need to make sure Josh has got the right access in Google Analytics. I've got an SMTP and a DNS for Abhishek and Josh, I keep saying images. And then Tanuj is about halfway. Yeah, good. Okay. Nikhil. Yeah, Nikhil. Nice. Okay, cool. Any last call? Anything else? Cool. Good. Very nice to see all you guys. Talk to you very soon.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
I think you're not satisfied because we are in ending up early.
Yeah, what's going on? This is weird. What's there's something yeah, it gives you an eerie feeling. Like, wait a second. No, yeah. I just nice. All right. Talk to you guys later. See you soon.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Bye guys.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye guys.